Welcome back, viewership of the Infamous Gentlemen. In the last installment of Dungeons & Dragons that you saw in Infamous D&D, the party was invited cordially to enjoy a whiskey by a campfire by the Happy Donkey Trading Company.
In my defense, we did enjoy the whiskey, and then
after ingesting and enjoying the whiskey, they burned their hosts with acid, murdered many of them, and then released one prisoner, the dwarf Kronar Ironshanks, off along the high road. Standing in the burned and dismembered bodies of their enemies, they have looted the camp and are now determining their next course of action. All of this tangential to their primary goal of rescuing Harald, the son of the Duchess of Eastmarch, from the clutches of...
Guys, remember, we're here to save Fortinbras. I mean, save Harald.
We have achieved absolutely nothing so far.
We are no closer on our quest.
Yeah, so what action from the party?
Okay.
I mean,
so
should possibly head towards Kragspire Keep.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking. I mean, the other thing we could do, right, is there's that massive watchtower over yonder. Maybe it's a good plan to try and get a lay of the land before we actually
Oh yeah, maybe there's some innocents to kill up there. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, well, I feel we should scout out the castle a bit more before we run in through the gates.
Yeah, you're right.
There's been a lot of knights murdered
Reckless
already.
action isn't becoming of this party.
Right, so for context, and so you've got an overview of what's happening. You should be able to see on your screens where the party is currently positioned by the former campsite of the Happy Donkey, or the Lucky Donkey Trading Company. Over yonder, there is the ruined Watchtower.
Okay, we are quite nearby.
The road, which leads up to Kragspire Keep itself. The road, of course, contains this small croft, which the party hasn't really investigated yet. At the other side of the map, down the high road, so again, the party here. See the road, which extends in this direction to instead a disused and dilapidated-looking boneyard. And that is what you can see on the horizon. If anyone wants to spot or perceive any of these things, you can certainly do that. But yes, that's what the landscape looks like.
Cool. I mean, boneyard is way too spooky.
None of us
that's
are
real spooky.
necromancers, sadly.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Dagmar on
Me too,
his,
I think. Yeah.
assessment
Do you want to?
of
Does
going
one
to
of you
the keep.
guys who's got perception want to see if you can, from a distance, kind of scope out the tower a bit? See if it's
Yeah, I can take a look.
obviously,
I've got a lot of
obviously full
perception.
of definitely just innocent traders going about their business and wants to fuck up or something.
We've got. I mean, who are we going to murder?
I'm sure there's someone in there whose
Okay,
day we can ruin.
I'm going to roll a perception check. Sorry, no, go.
Who is rolling the perception check on the Watchtower?
I think I have my sharp lizard eyes.
Yeah.
I think you're also trained, aren't you, Soldred?
Yes, +2.
I have +4 for perception,
Then you do it.
so I will take a look.
Yeah, it's your expertise. Oh.
And I got a B, so I rolled 24.
Was that a natural 20 then?
The natural 20. Natural 20.
Oh, dang. Okay. Well, you got an
can
awful lot of
see
information on this
God.
Watchtower. I could see through time. Not only can Talmaka see the Watchtower as it exists now, he can see as it was at its construction, back in the mists of time. He can see his whole history plays out before him. Now, regardless, the Watchtower is obviously a burned-out old husk of a tower. You're amazed it's even still standing. The stones are crumbling and dilapidated. It has seen extensive damage. Moreover, the interior seems much more intact than you first thought. There are some rotten wooden crates which have been stacked on the ground floor of the crumbling structure. The boxes, so with an exceptionally high roll, these crates that have been stacked on the ground floor, they look odd to you. It makes no sense to have so many provisions at a simple watchtower. Your sharp lizard eyes detect a dark space at the edge of the stack of boxes. Something seems to be concealed beneath the crates and boxes which are stacked in the ground floor of the watchtower.
All right.
I love you're really going in deep on this. I either roll crit successes or crit fails. Nothing in between.
That is my character.
The bimodal man, they call him.
Could I have... You can nominate, doesn't matter who does it. Can one of you roll a d8?
I'm going to let Doctor roll that.
Oh, good. Fine. Right, D8. Let's see what happens. That's a 6.
Okay. Some things will be happening, but the party can discuss in the meantime while I deliberate on the things that are going to be happening.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know this sort of that. But in
I
any
love it
case,
when I roll a dice and it's followed by 3 seconds of silence and then, okay.
So, for a bit of context and just for the party's general knowledge, I have a chart here, the Something Happens table,
Oh.
with some randomly generated things that could happen or could not happen. In any case, something will be happening in a second, but what would the party like to do?
Well, I convey what I've seen to the rest of the party. We've got some interesting boxes.
You're muted, by the way. Sorry.
Suspicious.
Oh. Let's go see what they're hiding. Could be some innocent people to fuck up.
It could be interesting provisions, and I do like provisions being a pirate.
Yeah, maybe they're hiding refugees in those boxes who need to be kept out of this
Damn
land.
refugees!
Well, if it's more kids they've stolen, we have to let them free.
What are you, like, some
do have
kind
to
of
free
like
the
pedo
children.
hunter?
What gave it away?
It's like an American TV show.
Like, do you think Fortinbras is Jimmy Savile or something?
I think he's kidnapped a child.
That is what has happened, objectively.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the keep.
So you're approaching the Watchtower then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I will happily go first because my stealth is fantastic.
Ooh, so we stealthily wandering.
My stealth is shocking. It's
Yeah.
-1 with disadvantage.
Well, mine is +6, so I will also take
Yeah.
stealth.
In that case then, Soldred, as you make your way up towards the Watchtower, can you please roll me a stealth check? And I'll
I can.
adjust the static cam so we can see a bit of the Watchtower.
thank you.
And there is Soldred.
I can, and
Moving up to-
fucking shit, it's a fucking 9.
Is that 9 on the dice or 9 total?
9 total, it was 5 on the dice. Turns out I left the metal parts on my hooves just hanging around, muffling
Got to
them.
de-shod yourself. De-shoe.
So it's difficult for a large equine creature to move stealthily at the best of times, so you hear a kind of strange cantering as a clippity-clop, as Soldred makes his way, what he believes to be stealthily, up towards the Watchtower. So he makes it. Soldred, there's kind of loose stones and masonry, bits of debris and rubble, but there's nothing seemingly that impedes your advance towards the tower. So you make it into what would be the exterior wall, right up to the tower. What action?
I'm gonna go and look underneath these boxes that have hidden shit under them.
Okay.
We also
By
be sort
yourself,
of like
or-
following up behind as well. Maybe.
Well,
giving
if you've
her-
noticed that I'm
giving
not
her
really
that
as
space.
stealthy as I think I am, you can absolutely just be like, yo, Soldred, you're a fanny. Or you can give me some space and be like, Soldred's about to like fall into a pit of death.
Yeah.
Let's watch. Let's get the popcorn.
Oh, I didn't mention this, by the way,
party-
but in the intervening time, I've mended my steel defender.
Cool. You can use that with a mending
I
cantrip.
can.
I looked up how that works.
It heals.
Cool.
Yeah, heals 2d6 if I cast mending on it.
So, sounds good to me, regardless. So, with the Steel Defender repaired, the party makes its way up maybe 20 or 30 feet behind the not-so-stealthy Soldred. Soldred wants to investigate under the boxes. Cool. Beneath the boxes, Soldred, there is what appears to be a trap door. So, a wooden trap door set with iron hinges, swollen with rot. So, the boxes are not difficult to move aside. Most of them are empty or rotten, and you just sweep them aside to reveal a trap door set into the earth of the Watchtower.
Cool. I'm gonna try and open it.
Oh.
Can you roll me an athletics check, please, Soldred?
Oh no, I got a 5.
Jesus Christ, you suck.
Oh, Soldred like leans down. It's difficult for him to get that low, but like putting his human hands against it, he tugs and he pulls, leveraging his huge hooves, but it just doesn't give. He can't unstick the trapdoor.
Do the hooves scrabble along?
Yeah, ineffectively, unfortunately. So it's slick,
Yeah.
it's kind of slimy, it's rusty, and the metal of the hinges is rusted.
Is it actually
and
like
then it
locked
seems like,
in any way, meaningfully?
if you would like to go up and inspect it.
Yeah,
you
because
can,
I'm
roll a
going to
perception
get my
check.
thieves' tools ready and see if I can break a lock. Something.
Very well.
Time to use the ball bearings, fellas.
I will move Terminus into the base of the tower. Terminus, can you roll me a perception check?
A perception, damn it, not investigation.
I'll let you roll investigation. It's something this close to see if it's locked.
Because
Yeah,
that's the difference
sure,
between a
investigation's-
-1 and a +5. So, that's a 19.
And I think it doesn't appear to be locked. What appears to be the situation is that over time, just from years of neglect, the wood has just swollen in the frame.
Cool.
So there's no mechanism, no lock, no contraption. It's just that the wood has swollen and it's now, the door is bigger than the intended circumference of the hole, and it's stuck fast.
I'll have the steel defender skitter over and try and, let's say it's got like a grappling hook on its underside or something like that, and try and just kind of wrench it open.
Okay, make an athletics check for the steel
That's why
defender.
I checked, because it has a +6 to athletics.
Can I assist in any way?
Yep, certainly.
Gives you advantage on a roll, I believe.
Sorry, I got a very, very curious kitten sniffing at my face. Does he get advantage
So-
for that? Then
I think
Yeah,
so.
if Soldred is happy to assist, which it sounds like Soldred is, Soldred will again heave at the trapdoor with the steel defender like sticking its grappling hook in and trying to reel it in with a.
that's a 19 on the check, though.
This time, the wood disintegrates and pops open, like the planks of wood almost disintegrating because they're so rotten with the pressure put on them.
Obstacle removed. Proceed.
Now, beneath, with the trapdoor removed, a black pit, like a foul-smelling well, reaches down into the murky depths of the earth. Rusted iron rungs are set into the side of what appears to be like some kind of... Imagine like a mine shaft going directly down with rusted iron rungs set into the side of the shaft to form a crude ladder. Now,
Okay.
can I have both Dagmar and Talamanca roll me perception checks, please, while this is going on? You guys have remained on the road while they went to deal with the trapdoor, but I need you to roll perception checks now.
That's a 10 from Dagmar.
And that is a 16 from Talamanca.
Okay, Talamanca, you're aware, a sound in the distance of kind of tramping feet on the earth. So, coming from the direction of Kragspire Keep, it appears as though a party of beings has begun to make their way from the tower out onto the road. And hopefully you can see on the camera. Is that coming through okay?
Yep.
Wonderful. So, at this distance, all you can see is that they are literally skeletal individuals. So, it's not that they are
Spooky
humanoid.
boys.
It's not that they are very, very thin humans. With a roll of a 16, Talamanca, you can clearly see that at the head there's a regular flesh and blood humanoid figure. Those that follow in his wake are skin and bone, so literal ebony bone. It kind of marches, or ivory bone, not ebony bone.
So that sounds metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Like black skeletons.
Yeah. So the ivory forms of humanoid skeletons that tramp along behind a human figure in the fore, and they have issued from Kragspire Keep.
Get out of there! Fuck! No!
I'm not sure if that's advice to the party or whether that's to the cat.
No, that was a cat was going into my audio mixer, which I absolutely do not want interfering with mid-recording.
So, for context, this is Kragspire Keep here. This is them issuing from the gate, and then over yonder is the Watchtower where the party finds itself.
Ooh.
There we go.
Okay. Well, I want to know what's happening, but also they sound scary.
They sound spooky as fuck.
What are we gonna do, team?
Why don't you stealth after them, boy? That's gone well in the past.
I'm certainly gonna conceal myself and see if I can listen to.
Just don't
hear any conversation.
don't Benny Hill it again.
Yeah. But I think you guys should conceal yourselves whilst I'm spying.
Okay, so
We're still quite far away from them, aren't we?
Yeah.
Are they showing any? So you say they're going towards Kragspire Keep?
They're going away from Kragspire Keep.
They're leaving. So, in fact, at this distance, you can clearly see that this is like the start of a column. So it looks as though there are maybe 7 or 8 of them who have left the keep already, but there are more emerging from the keep, and they are coming out
it's
from.
Like that, it's like that scene at Minos Morgul in Return of the King.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's nowhere near as many as that. So, like at most at this range, you can make out there's maybe like 7, 8, maybe a few more coming behind them, but they are approximately. About 150 feet away from the party, directly over the rough terrain. If you were to travel by the road, you have to go roundabout and it would take longer, but about 150 feet as the crow flies from the party.
Yeah, I'm guessing Talamanca, you've relayed this. Have you?
Yeah.
The spooky boy is
Yes.
Spooky boy is on the way. Yeah, because Dagmar is terrible at stealth, but he's going to really want to know what's going on here. So he's probably going to, like, creep back, maybe, like, round the back of that croft to try and see what's going on.
Okay. Is Dagmar wearing heavy armor?
Yes. So he has disadvantage on stealth, so he's literally the worst possible person to be doing this.
Okay. Does anyone
Is
want to go with
Dagmar
him?
sure
Can
he wants to do that?
Well,
I was gonna say, can I put my hand on Dagmar's chest and tell him to hold back while I do the stealthing?
that works.
In fairness,
Swashbuckling rogue.
of everyone who's got a proven track record of being awful with stealth, that is unfortunately
Yeah.
you. I know you're allegedly
That is true.
proficient in stealth, but I'm not sure we know that yet as characters.
Yeah, no, that sounds
Alright, well,
good.
I will award Dagmar a point of inspiration because, like, Dagmar, the character, clearly wants to know what's going on, and he's a paladin, so he exists basically to stop undead. However, clearly it makes no tactical sense for the dragon to pursue this course of action, and therefore, good role play. I'll give him a point of inspiration.
Hooray! I haven't used my other one yet, so
Oh, you don't get a second one. And
no.
they
But
don't-
that's fine if Talamanca's gonna. I'm imagining Talamanca just puts a hand on Dagmar's chest, and then Dagmar just kind of like nods and just like. Brr.
We know what's
Yeah.
going on. So I'm going to go and do exactly what Dagmar was going to do and sneak around the back of that croft.
Excellent. Can Talamanca please roll me a stealth check then? So hopefully the camera is sufficient that we can see our man Talamanca making his way from here over to behind the croft. Now, roll a stealth check first of all, so there's a bunch of things that could play out here, but in the first instance, roll me a stealth check, please.
Well, okay, so I rolled a stealth check of 3 plus 6, which is 9, but I'm going to use my inspiration point to re-roll that.
Good move, I think.
Yeah.
Which got a 9 plus 6, which is 15.
Better.
15.
That's the most average you've ever rolled.
I know it.
And I say that with respect.
Able to position himself kind of up against the side of the croft. Oh, I need to re-roll that. It's a cocked dice. Okay, it was a 15 or a 16 you rolled?
A 15.
A 15. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh dear.
Now, as you watch, the kind of patrol of skeletons seems to move past. Hopefully we can see this on the camera. At much closer range, you can see that there is a huge humanoid figure, so like definitely a human, but a giant of a man carrying a flail and a sword, which he brandishes above his head, at the head of this kind of short column of skeletons. So in total, there are 9, including the human figure who leads them. And I'm hopeful that, again, we can get some nice shots of Talamanca hiding behind that croft, and then maybe the skeletons in the background.
Maybe we should.
They
I'm surprised
do
we
not appear to notice you,
not want to
Talamanca.
investigate the 2 giant screens in the sky yet.
Those are, yeah.
Pay no attention. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. So there we go. That's looking pretty good from what I can see on my end. Anyway, regardless, Talamanca, they give no indication that they have seen you, but nevertheless they continue marching down the road away from the keep. You notice the skeletons are marching in perfect lockstep, and every so often the figure at the front, it will kind of turn to them and bark what seems to be a harsh order, and like they'll just tramp forward a few more paces. It seems to be that he is leading the procession.
Okay. Can I roll a perception check to see if there's anything more useful I can glean from...
You sure can.
And that was a 19 plus 4, which is 23.
Right, so a 19 plus 4, so a 23, an exceptionally high perception roll. So you get from the kind of weary trudge, or the kind of look in the leading humanoid figure's face, this seems to be, he looks bored, incredibly bored, and he's almost like barking orders at the skeletons out of habit. You get the impression that like this isn't something urgent, they don't seem to be marching with purpose, and moreover, like with a much higher roll, you get a good look at these skeletons. Some of them are still wearing like discarded bits of clothes and grave dirt, their armor is rotten and rusted, they're carrying heavy iron-looking weapons, and just the sight of them covered in dirt, and like sometimes scraps of decayed flesh, it's horrifying to look on. Can Talamanca roll me a charisma saving throw?
That is a 19 plus 2, which is 21.
Jesus, do 19 on the dice.
If
you really are min-maxing these dice.
I know.
Talamanca, incapable of rolling.
Anywhere between 5 and 15.
You feel the kind of the fear, even in your cold reptilian blood. The fear rises, but you master it quickly, and you're able to control yourself. But these things are horrifying to look on. Yep, that's what you see. So exceptionally high perception roll. They don't seem to have noticed you, but they are marching down the road. They pay no attention to the croft, but they seem to be doing this almost habitually.
If I were to return back to the party, would I have to roll another stealth check to not be detected?
You would, or you could wait until they were further away, but then they might get to a place, and that might have further repercussions. But if you wanted to return...
That's true, but they are not marching with purpose.
So what was that, Talamanca?
I'm going to wait for a little bit longer and let the party do their own thing until such time as they're further away.
Okay, in that case then we will revert to the rest of the party, just briefly. What's the rest of the party doing while this is going on? They're aware of the presence of the skeletons, but they are further away.
Oh, me and the Sprite have been having some off-camera discussions about how useful hooves would be for climbing down a slippery ladder. They had to be not.
Yes, you'll need an inventive solution as to how you're going to get a big horse down a slippery ladder. But yeah, we'll get to that.
That sounds like one of those like interview questions from hell. You know, like how do you fit a giraffe in a fridge? How do you get a horse down a well?
A little bit.
I mean, I can. What's that fancy rope I've
do
got?
either of you have
got a rope of climbing? I don't think so. Weirdly, we're in an unusual case. Like every D&D game I think I've ever played, we've always had 1 or 2 party members with dark vision.
Yeah.
You must have it as a dwarf.
Yeah. So I was thinking I might come and peer down.
I might send you and the spider down. Could be a good move. Do some like kind of scouting there.
Well, I want to before I go down. Want to have a good idea of.
Yeah. Well, if you've got dark vision, you're probably better than the spider to look down.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the spider's got good perception though. Oh no, the spider's got 60-foot dark vision as well. I'll send the spider down to do a bit of-
The spider can't speak, so even if it goes down, it can't communicate what it finds at the bottom, if indeed it finds anything.
That's a great point.
So, as you yourself pointed out,
There's a difference between speaking and able to communicate. Just,
It just
putting that out
charades
there.
it. Just
Well,
like...
it understands the languages you speak, so I could be like, flash once if there's bullshit down there, flash twice if it's safe. Like, I've been working with this thing for a couple of years.
Or like, just, let me know if I want to go down there. Is there anything cool or exciting?
tell you what, if we're gonna have Dagmar peer down, we'll have Dagmar peer down. If you want the spider to investigate, when it comes back up, you can have the spider roll a performance check to interpretively dance what it finds at the bottom for you.
Yeah.
Performance is charisma, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
before we set the spider,
Oh, yeah.
well,
I'll have a look anyway.
let's have Dagmar have a look. So can Dagmar roll me a
Yeah,
perception
yeah.
check? But regrettably,
Perception check.
even though he has dark vision, he rolls with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a 6 anyway, so...
Oh, God.
I don't think, yeah. Second one was 13, but no, 6 it would be.
Okay, so beneath
It's
the earth,
fine.
especially because there's very little.
Nothing there.
Well, there is a description regardless, even though he rolled low. So simply because he can see in the dark, he can see that the shaft descends exactly 40 feet down.
Ooh.
At the bottom, he gets the brief impression of like a rough earthen tunnel with water collected at a small pool in the bottom. Can't really tell how deep the pool is from that range based on that perception roll. But it goes 40 feet directly down. You can't make much else out. It's kind of, especially if the area is not actually lit with a torch, you only see in shades of grey and dark vision is a little bit hazy. I imagine it being like night vision goggles with the contrast turned way up. It's difficult to make things out. But you can tell it goes 40 feet directly down into the earth, and there's some water at the bottom of the pool, or the bottom of the shaft.
Okay.
And with that, we will cut dramatically back to Talamanca. Talamanca, the tramping undead seem to have moved beyond your position, beyond the croft, and they're heading seemingly up the high road past you. Wonderful. We hope the tech setup, this is the first time we've used this tech setup viewership, so we hope it looks good. But anyway, Talamanca, what are you doing?
Well, I think they've probably passed far enough for me to sneak back towards the rest of the party and convey what I've seen.
Is there any indication of which direction they're going yet? Or are they just wandering?
Oh, perhaps I could take another look and see if that's apparent yet. They're clearly marching away. I don't know if they're going anywhere particular. That's not a bad idea.
You roll me a survival check, please.
That'll be 5, please.
No.
Oh. I mean, they could be going anywhere. As Talamanca is looking at them, it's like, maybe they're going on holiday. I mean, spooky. So
But
based on 5,
they've
you
got
can't-
no body to go with.
Yeah, they have. They've got the guy at the front.
Yeah, true.
A classic humour from the Doctor.
Dude, I've been sitting on that for a while. It's basically, since when these guys turned up, I lined up at least 3 or 4 like skeleton puns and I'm sitting on them.
Does your character, so does Terminus have any inspiration at the moment?
He does not.
Okay, I was going to take it away if he had it.
And you'd
Yeah,
be right
that's
to do
the-
so, yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, Talamanca, unfortunately, with a survival roll of a 5, it's very difficult for you to predict accurately where they're going to go. They could be going anywhere. You're just not sure. Obviously, if you waited, you would just be able to see where they walk to, but that may not be advantageous, or maybe it will be. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly worried about them yet. I guess what I do want to know is how loud and noisy the rest of the party are being. So can I hear them from where I am?
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. That's a 23.
Oh, dang.
Feels like a waste of...
You can hear a butterfly beat its wings like the other side of the valley. The party seems to be like pretty quiet. They're a good distance away from the skeletons. You can more or less hear them, but the kind of muffling effect of the twilight and the fact that there's several kind of crumbling stone walls between them and anything else, the exterior of the tower, would suggest that it's difficult to hear them. You'd have to be actively searching for them to know they were there.
Okay, alright. Well, in that case, I'm going to wait a little bit longer, because clearly the skeletons are probably not going to be a threat to the party. They don't know anything about them being there. So I'm going to wait and continue to watch.
Very well. We'll now cut back to the main party. So, Dagmar, you have looked down the shaft. You've seen that it's 40 feet directly down into the earth. And I'm just going to have a cool shot of everyone standing around. So I shall now bring the roving cam up, as that's the party positioned itself at the base of the Watchtower.
Nah. Naught down there. Absolutely naught. Do we want to go down anyway?
As in, is it an old well, or...
There's just a bit of water down there. Naught else.
Fortunately, the member of the party that can breathe and swim underwater is not with us. Well, so I can breathe underwater in a sense that I don't breathe, but... I could hop down and kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean my way around.
yeah. Walk in the bottom. Do we actually want to go down there? Like, are we looking for something? Or I mean, I guess maybe.
So this was the thing that was like hidden under the crates, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it could be like a secret passage into.
Yeah, shitey metagaming mode enabled. We had to roll high to find this. It's probably worth investigating. I don't like metagaming, but here I think this is worth taking a look at.
Well, like in universe, we're probably looking for a way in, right? I mean, we've seen like the massive. We've seen the massive column of skeletons.
Fuck it, right? So at this point, Terminus is literally just going to go exploration protocol initiated and hop in the well and just start climbing down.
Can you see anything?
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast, not cast. I can do some magical tinkering. And no, what am I carrying? That's I've got a torch. But you know what? I'm just gonna let's say this rope that I'm carrying. I will put this rope down. And I'll also just use my magical tinkering on it to make it shed light in a 5-foot radius. So I've got some glowing rope.
As he moves down, he kind of rubs some kind of strange alchemical, presumably radioactive material on the rope.
This rope's actually just full of thorium.
A dull light which he kind of moves and kind of wraps around himself as he descends down. Can I, first of all, from Terminus, have an athletics check? Or acrobatics, whichever is highest.
That would be acrobatics. Oh, and that is a natural 20. Total 21.
Guys.
A natural 20. Like, he begins to easily descend down. However, as he gets maybe 10 feet down into the shaft, one of the rungs, as he places one of his iron hands against it and attempts to move down, the rung comes clean out of the wall. I need Terminus to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no. That is a 10.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Terminus, like, you scrabble wildly, your mechanical hands kind of scratch against the stone, but you plummet the remaining 30 feet down to crash hard into the extremely shallow pool of water at the bottom. So the water's only maybe an inch deep, as Terminus's metal body with a resounding clong hits the bottom of the water. Oh, holy shit, taking 17 points of bludgeoning damage. Almost the
You're it down there.
The maximum you could have taken was 18, and you took 17 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the stone floor.
Right.
What action?
Can I see anything down here? I mean, I know I've only got light in a 5-foot, but I assume is there like a tunnel going on for it or something? I really hope this isn't just empty.
Yeah, as Terminus kind of picks himself up and like holds the rope up above his head, like his mechanical body dented, some of his cogs have come a little bit loose. You can see that extending off. Roll me a survival check, actually, to work out the direction this might be heading, because it's disorientating being underground, especially having just fallen 30 feet.
That's incredible. So with my -1 to survival, I rolled a nat 1, giving me a 0. Literally the worst possible roll.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Terminus, can Terminus please roll me a wisdom saving throw?
Oh, I'm gonna fucking die down here. I've only got 10 hit points left. And I've got a -1 to wisdom saving throws. That's an 8. Did I just fallen down a well and died?
The disorientation of like standing up and suddenly being underground and not knowing which direction the tunnel is going and not knowing which way is up, you take 2 points of psychic damage as like a does not compute error message flashes across Terminus's eyes.
Yes.
Fuck me. Right, first action. I'm gonna repair myself a little bit from that.
Yes. Before we get to that, so Terminus
Okay,
can see that there is a tunnel which extends. Imagine like he's at the bottom of the mine shaft or the bottom of the shaft. There is a tunnel which extends off in a direction that he can't pinpoint because the survival check was so horrific. But there is a tunnel that leads further off into the darkness.
Cool. I'm gonna relay that information up and say manual investigation. Pool was shallow. Watch for slippery rungs. Tunnel found. Direction. Error.
Outstanding. And with that, we'll cut swiftly back to Talamanca, and I'll get a cool shot of him. I'm going to switch to the roving cam. There's Talamanca.
Okay.
So that can be seen. All right. There's
Okay.
Talmika
Oh, I feel sorry
behind
for that
the croft.
fellow at the crossroads.
Oh, what, the dwarf we let go?
Oh yeah.
Or the simple
Tom-
bloke who got the head start?
So Talmika, you can see like the group of skeletons seems to have moved to the crossroads, and they're advancing in the direction now. You've waited long enough; you can clearly work out their intention. They're heading towards the boneyard.
Of course they are.
Yes. I like the idea they're just going to place the skeletons back in there.
Just gonna go to sleep, yeah.
Now, can
It is
Talmika also roll me a perception check, please? So this is Talmika behind the
I
croft
can.
house. Over here we have the party minus now one. Terminus.
-1. Ah, yes, quite. Alright, my perception was 9. The perception check.
9. So you can't make out the source, but you're pretty sure you can hear heavy footsteps from inside the croft house. Somebody is in there, and they're moving around as the skeletons, like I said, move off in the direction of
Okay.
the boneyard. What action from Talmika?
Alright. Well, I am intrigued. I am intrigued on who's in there, but I feel like I've left my party to succeed or not, or otherwise, long enough. So I'm going to head back.
Otherwise.
Yeah, I heard a loud clang coming from the direction of the of the tower, and I'm concerned. So I'm going to head back towards the watchtower.
Okay, as we follow Talmika, as he makes his way back across the plain on the roving cam, hopefully this all works, as he makes his way back towards rejoining the party at the foot of the ruined watchtower. And it is at that point that we have reached our allotted break time. So, viewership of Infamous Gentlemen, perhaps we will cut here. Who knows how this will all be edited, or even if this will come together. But thank you for joining us at this stage. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the quest, with our Soldred, with our Terminus, with me, the Dungeon Master, the Bard, and various other characters whose names I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm on the spot now. but the stars are Dagmar. So we have Dagmar, Terminus, Soldred, and Talamanca. Will be back in the next thrilling installment of Infamous D&D. But have a good night, and we'll be back soon.
Good night.
This has been great so far. And boy, am I
Yes,
regressing.
absolutely.
I came so close to preparing Featherfall, and then I thought, nah, I'm not going to need that.
Party, what do you intend to do?
You're right down there.
I make
How's
house
that?
cure wounds. Myself, I think will be my move here. So as discussed, yeah, Terminus's healing takes the form of smaller mechanical spiders that basically just come and kind of stitch stuff together. So they just a couple of them run over his body and just do a bit of spot welding, bit of kind of knitting some of the kind of biomechanical tissue that's stringing him together. And that's actually a surprisingly good roll on that, so that'll do. Heal myself up by 8.
Wonderful.
8.
That's excellent flavor text there, Doctor. So Terminus, I will award Terminus 1 point of inspiration if he doesn't already have one.
Boy,
He
does he
doesn't.
need it. He doesn't have it. Yeah, if I did have it, because you're going to take it away from making shit puns about skeletons.
Oh yeah.
That's very true.
And
Yes.
rightly so.
Can I have a member of the party who is not the Doctor roll me a d8?
I'll roll a
So-
d8.
No modifier, just roll a d8.
Ooh, I got an 8.
That's either good or bad,
Yeah.
That's,
we don't know.
depending on how the bard writes things.
Well, we have an interesting predicament ahead of us. So if you direct your attention to the camera feed entitled Good Camera,
Good camera.
you will notice that I am laying a deck of cards.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
You notice that I was
Please tell me they
pile
say
of cards
blockbuster.
appears in front
You
of
notice
us.
I've
Adventure.
You'll notice that I've split those into 3 piles. Would the party please choose from one of the piles? So 1, 2, or 3. Which one would you like me to draw from?
Go for
One.
the middle. Go
Yeah,
for the
2.
middle.
Go for 2. Go for 2.
Go for the middle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Most
Shut
interesting.
up.
Oh no.
Furthermore, Sprite, seeing as how you made the initial roll, can you re-roll the d8s, please?
Yep. 7.
And the 7. Well, that's interesting.
Stop saying that!
He's trying to put my blood pressure up, you know?
It's all interesting. Now, because you rolled somewhat uniquely, I'm putting the adventure cards back. Which deck would you like me to draw from?
Left. So you're right, actually, that one, yeah.
This one here.
Yep. He
didn't say interesting.
this time, so that's either good or bad.
Yes.
Well, things will happen. Okay, I leave it to the party to proceed. Like, nothing will immediately take place, but as the situation is, Terminus is at the bottom of the mine shaft. He is quite badly injured. The rest of the party is at the top, What action from
That's
there?
better. Does anyone have any rope? That
Yes,
might be quite
me.
helpful.
Yes.
Apart from you.
No, I laid the rope down when I was going down.
Did you?
I meant to say that because I lit it
You
up.
did not say it.
I tinkered it to light it up, and the plan was to anchor it at the top and go down with it.
So Terminus carried the rope. I didn't hear him say he would anchor it, but I assume
Where's my special rope then?
Does anyone else have rope?
I have rope if needs be.
I got a rope of climbing. Or make a rope of climbing.
I have
I know what you're
adventuring
saying.
gear, so surely I have rope.
Yeah, you all have 30 feet of rope, but there is no,
Oh.
crucially, there's no grappling hook on the end of the rope, but you have 30 feet of rope each.
Mine says it's
Okay.
50 foot.
Okay, I
Oh,
can
that's all
carry a lot of heft, so I can anchor at the top and help you guys down. And if I'm gonna die climbing down this thing, I mean, I was the most likely to anyway, so at least I can make sure you two get down safe.
I got a healing potion down at the bottom as well.
If I'm alive
Someone
enough,
just
I
like-
will
Ask
use
you
it.
to jump down and then heal you. So you inevitably
I
crash
will
into the
attempt to
ground.
climb. I do have
No,
a
she
plan.
can climb, she just sucks at it, so it takes like 4 times longer and presumably will.
You
might
guys
fuck
can
her up
probably
more.
have a rest while I'm doing that. So
Can
I also
can
have that.
cast
I also have
feather?
that bomb thing we got last time. If that helps.
Oh yeah. That's
no,
true.
I don't want exploding on the way
We
down.
explode it
thank
at
you.
just the right time. It
No.
might cushion your fall.
Yeah, the upward force of the explosion will counteract the downward fall of horse.
No.
Possibly go wrong.
For context for the viewership, the difficulty in this situation is that the sprite's character, Soldred, is in fact a centaur, and centaurs will struggle to climb ladders. So not only do they have
Slimy,
to get...
wet, rotten wood ladders.
Yeah, but I'm
Which-
thinking the plan is that Soldred will hold the rope, and then someone else will climb down the rope that Soldred is holding to get to the bottom. Okay.
Oh, we could
Who's-
we could winch Soldred down and basically tie him onto the rope, and then someone like the Steel Defender, which is still up there, could just kind of like dig, 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 and just like feed it out and basically like lower him down like a crane.
I quite like this idea.
Yeah.
It's going to go horribly wrong, but I love this idea.
We could do
I
this,
vote-
and
I
it
vote
lessens
crane
my
winch.
chance of death, which I do appreciate. But I feel like I'm heavier than the
Steel Defender.
Defender.
I'm not sure
Well-
you are.
Shall we explore down there first?
Yeah.
and see if
Should we
it
see
works?
what's down there? Yeah. Exactly.
What's all
we
this
don't want to
wee
lower an
about?
actual horse. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Well, Dagmar's gonna go down, I think, because he's got dark vision, so it
Terrific.
might be quite useful. So yeah, I guess we'll tie a rope somewhere at the top, just to.
Well, you might have pittons as well. I have pittons, which is great, but
Okay,
I don't
so,
know what that is.
it's like
So-
it's like basically like a tent peg kind of thing.
Yeah.
so Soldred is gonna hold the rope, and Dagmar will descend using the rungs and the rope combined to give himself a better chance. Okay. Soldred, I need you to make an athletics check to see how well.
Cool,
you
and I
can-
have extra. I have good carrying thing. It's literally in my comments about myself.
As a centaur, your carrying capacity is doubled. So I will let you make this check with advantage because this is just a simple matter of strength.
First one was a 14, and second one was an 11. So 14.
14. So Soldier's a big solid horse. So like he stands resolute, digs his hoofs out of the earth. Dagmar, could you please roll me an athletics check? You may also roll with advantage because you're descending not only with the rungs of the ladder, you're also descending with the aid of the rope.
Why didn't I think?
Hooray! Okay. Okay, that's a 18, so that's probably fine. Oh, that's a 22, even better.
At 22, Dagmar like seizes the rope in one hand and with a "Hey!" a mighty dwarven battle cry, he rappels down, with landing in a superhero dramatic style splash into the water behind like
Shield
the
out.
behind the mangled form of Terminus.
I was gonna say, and Terminus will just look at him and then just look away, going, "Shame protocol activated."
And from
Yes.
the top, Dagmar, what's your dwarven eyes see?
Yes, you can see underground, my friend.
You've been pushing the "What do your X eyes see?"
Yeah.
joke real hard.
He does have good listening eyes.
So that now that Dagmar has reached the bottom of the shaft, can Dagmar please roll me a perception check?
Perception?
Now, the way is lit by the magical rope, which was enchanted. in
Kind
the
of.
last...
It's only 5 foot, so it's not.
Okay, but
amazing.
it gives out some light regardless. The magic rope gives out a little bit of light, which is carried by Terminus, so you can make a regular roll, Dagmar, for perception.
Awesome. Okay, I got 16.
60 is a pretty good roll. So,
You didn't see the jewel-encrusted wall, but you might see the path.
beneath the earth it is obviously pitch black. However, with your dark vision, as previously discussed, you can in fact see your hand in front of your face. You can see that the walls are cloying and damp, but they are clearly made of worked stones. This isn't like a burrow or a rough tunnel. This was made of worked stone masonry. Someone has purposefully obviously carved this out and shored it up with masonry. Now, as a dwarf, and with a high perception roll, you know which way you are facing when you're underground. As a dwarf, you're just accustomed to this. So the tunnel which leads off of this shaft, it opens out into a short pool. There's a tunnel which leads off, and you know, instinctively as a dwarf, this tunnel leads directly towards Kragspire Keep.
Ooh. I think we might have found a way in, fellas.
Shite.
Soldred was hoping to stay above ground, I'm guessing.
You can go on the surface and be the distraction.
Oh, great.
There is enough room for Soldred, so it's a fairly wide and high tunnel, so it's at least 10 feet by 10 feet. He'd be a little bit uncomfortable, but he could definitely fit. The difficulty will be getting him down the shaft with the ladder in it, because of course he has hooves.
Yes. All right.
What action from the party?
Talamanca, come on, let's get you down there safely.
Should we not try and
we
get
need someone
you
to winch,
down
yeah.
there safe?
Yeah, I can climb down quite straightforwardly.
As can, I think, the Steel Defender.
Okay, should we try and winch me with the Steel Defender and Talamanca?
I think so, yes. I assume someone's up there still got a rope of some sort, yeah.
I have a rope. I've got pitons as well.
Because
Okay.
basically, obviously, my hands can hold the rungs, and I was going to do a very delicate climbing onto the rock with my feet as much as I could, and mostly just like slowly scoot down. But if you can help support my ass, which is extensive, I have a decent chance of holding on.
So if you climb down and we just anchor your your hindquarters to keep you horizontal.
Yeah.
So you're climbing down with your butt's like
Off to the side. I can get a cat and do a demonstration if you'd like. But I foresee being
Okay.
clawed.
Okay, so the play is as follows. Like, the first to descend is going to be Soldred. Soldred's going to use his hands and his front hooves to kind of descend the ladder. And at the top of the mine shaft, he's going to be supported in his his hindquarters, by Talamanca and the Steel Defender, who are going to hold the rope to take some of the weight off his hindquarters.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a tricky maneuver, but it can be done. Can Soldred roll me either an acrobatics check or an athletics check, whichever is highest? And can I have the Steel Defender and Talamanca make me athletics checks, individual athletics checks?
13 for me.
13.
Oh, it's a natural 1 for me.
Worst possible
And
time.
it's a 9 from the Steel Defender.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh,
So
you're gonna die.
Yeah.
At least there's a help.
We may have dropped you.
the operation begins quite smoothly. So in principle, this is a good plan. Unfortunately, like after about 15 or 20 feet down, Soldier's making good progress, but one of his hooves slips a little bit, and the sudden strain on the rope above means that Talamanca is pulled right to the precipice. He loses sight of the rope. Your back end suddenly gaining much more weight. Unfortunately, Soldier will plummet the last 10 or 15 feet, taking 8 points of bludgeoning damage as his equine form just slams into the earth below. Can I have
I was prepared for.
Talamanca please roll me an acrobatics check?
You can indeed. And that was a 24 with a natural 20.
Why
That's
are you
fine.
like this?
That's fine.
Incredible. As Talamanca reaches the side of the pit, he just slips and goes over the edge. However, he just digs his lizard claws into the side and just scrapes down, Prince of Persia style, landing dramatically
Yes.
on the bottom, taking no damage whatsoever.
Talamanca, the idiot savant, strikes again.
Yeah. Well, my interpretation of that whole scene was that Talamanca just has really slimy lizard hands. Just like, oh shit.
Right.
In any case,
the Steel Defender will just kind of try and scuttle down.
the Steel Defender is basically a spider. So I know that, for flavor, the Steel Defender has 4 legs, but we are playing it that this is a spider Steel Defender. I won't make it roll.
It could
it's a
still
spider.
have 4 legs. They're just 4 spider legs. But yes.
For the sake of it getting down, roll an athletics check for the Steel Defender or acrobatics, whichever is highest.
Also a 9.
Oh, okay. The Steel Defender brings its mechanical legs to the fore and it kind of hammers its way down the rungs, embedding its kind of its many steel legs into the sides of the corridor. Unfortunately, it's slippy and it can't quite gain purchase, and it gives way. The Steel Defender plummeting the last 10 feet to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. but fairly minimal in the grand scheme of things.
And I guess I could also just instantly mending it if I wanted to. But
You could if you wanted to.
That doesn't feel right, so I'll leave it for now.
The party now, everybody down at the bottom of the shaft in a kind of small, I don't want to say antechamber, but sort of an antechamber-like space, which then leads off into a longer passageway which bends such that you cannot see the end of the passageway. So we're in a little bit of theatre of the mind at the moment. But don't worry, we'll have grids and visual representations to show people momentarily, depending what you do. How would the party like to proceed?
Okay, I have a lantern. That might make advancing from here slightly easier.
I've got torches as well.
Are they single use, the torches?
I assume so.
They burn for like 2 hours, I think.
Okay. And how about the lantern? That burns for...
Oh, have you got the hooded lantern or whatever it is? Yeah.
I have indeed, yeah.
Oh, hood. Okay, that's good because that means you can stay like stealthy, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the torch sheds a bit of light, but I can actually see fine with my weird tinkered glowing rope. So.
Yeah. Likewise, my dark vision will keep me going. Should we send Talamanca up ahead to sort of like scout?
I am very much a scouting sort of character.
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Oh well.
I'm a ranger, so my stealth is 4 plus 4.
But you also have disadvantage on stealth checks. It's because you're wearing medium armor. Basically, you're wearing scale armor, so it's clunky and makes scale mail, so it's clunky and makes noises.
So perhaps I'll roll a perception check to see what I can
Also,
hear.
you're a horse underground in a tunnel. Like,
this is not your natural habitat.
Horses
Yeah.
aren't so keen on being underground in tunnels, but nevertheless, I heard someone suggest that they might want to roll a perception check to see what they can hear rather than what they can see. So whoever suggested that may now roll a perception check if they would like to.
I will do... Oh, that's deception. No, perception. No. That was an 8 plus 4 is 12, please.
A 12. You can hear the kind of steady drip of water from ahead in the passageway. There's nothing seemingly hostile, nothing dramatic which seems to arrest your attention from the passageway. The earth seems still and quiet.
Okay. In that case, fellas, let's proceed.
Yeah.
I will use my my hooded lantern and follow the passageway, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Talamanca in the lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes,
I
that's
guess
right.
we'll maybe let you go up ahead a little bit, and then the rest of us sort of follow at a safe distance.
yeah.
So we're not like all that clanking is.
Keep it out,
It's not-
bullshit.
Yeah.
There's various
Yeah.
8s that we rolled and cards that were drawn.
yeah.
I'm
That's
slightly
true.
concerned that
Oh,
will be a what nonsense do you encounter underground roll.
God.
Aha.
Here we go.
Ooh,
So that's
oh,
the
wow.
party on a little grid so that you can see. In the marching order, we have Talamanca up here in the lead. Thereafter, we will have Terminus, the Steel Defender, and bringing up the rear, the larger figure of the Centaur, being soldiered, and then bringing up the back, assuming the party's happy with this marching order, we have my personal favourite miniature of the party. This is, of course, the figure of the Dwarven Paladin, Dagmar.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, in that case, if Talamanca is leading the party, Talamanca, I need a perception check as you kind of move off into the dark, shining the lantern around the place.
Absolutely. And that would be a 9, please.
Oh, a 9.
Not
So
great.
the way seems pretty straightforward. As you move further in, the worked stone gives way to kind of rough earth. So you get the feeling you're moving more through a natural crevice or a natural crack in the earth rather than through worked stone. But like Talamanca is unused. He's used to the kind of high seas and the jungles of his lizard folk home. He's not really used to being underground. He's a little bit unnerved. He can't make out many details with the lantern. I will allow one other player to roll a perception check of the party's choice.
Ooh.
Dagmar, do your perception.
I have rubbish perception.
I also have rubbish perception. I think that the Steel Defender's got quite good perception, but I suspect that's not useful.
Yeah.
I really wish that thing could talk.
I've got +2.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do it then.
you
I've got
go
-1, so definitely not me.
Soldier, roll me a perception check.
Nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh, does Soldier have advantage? And if so, does he want to use it?
I don't think I have advantage. I do have a inspiration thing to roll,
Oh, yes, that's what I meant. Sorry, my apologies.
but
Right.
do I want to just,
I mean, I'm always of the thing of don't hang on to inspiration. Really, that's not what it's there for. And you could earn it again in the future. Whereas if you earn it when you've already got it, you get nothing. So it's there to be spent.
Unfortunately, it jumped off of 19 and onto 3, so I got 5.
That's slightly better.
Okay. As the party continues to make its way along, something goes unnoticed. And without warning, Dagmar, you feel something sharp and hot dig into your armored foot. Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw?
Uh-oh. Constitution.
Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw with advantage for reasons that I will explain in a minute?
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, so I got 13 on the first one, 19 on the second one.
Okay. Something warm seems to like seep almost up your blood and through your very veins from the foot where you think, and something with scales slithers off into the darkness unnoticed. Perhaps some kind of serpent, perhaps? You take 3 points of poison damage, but you roll with advantage because as a dwarf, you get advantage against being poisoned.
Yes, that is correct. Okay. So
You take 3 points of poison
Did you
damage.
just get bitten on the foot by a bog snake?
I think so. There's something down here.
Define something.
It bit me. I don't know what, but it bit me.
So the passage ultimately reaches a T-junction. However, at some distance, even with his low perception that he rolled, which is pretty tragic, of a 9, Talamanca, you can hear that there's heavy, laboured breathing coming from around the corner ahead of you.
What do we think, gang? I think I'm going to sneak up on whatever it is around the corner.
Yeah, sneaky, sneaky.
Well, the question is, what do we do
around.
when we sneak up on him? Or her? Or it? Do we kill it?
Slit
or
it.
engage with it?
Well, we need to know what it is, right? So you could like try and get a sneaky look round, and if it looks nasty, you could just sneak up and stab it in the back, and then we'll charge in, and because then you'll get a surprise round, right?
Yeah, I'll get my stealth attack.
Yeah.
Alright.
Theoretically. Can you please then roll me a stealth check, Talamanca?
I can indeed.
This is what you're for, as the resident sneaky
That
boy.
would be a 14.
Oh, no.
A 14. Very well. Talamanca, you're able to move what you believe is in a pretty stealthy fashion up and around the corner. So you can peek around, as I'll move the miniature on the grid. You can see there is a form of an armoured man who is hunched over. And he's hunched over what appears to be like a large gourd or a large flask of some kind, which is he's kind of like propped up against to one side. Roll me a perception check, please.
And that was a 23 on the perception.
He appears not to have noticed you, or at least he doesn't move, or his demeanour doesn't change as you approach.
Nice.
The flying cam coming in like so. I'll pan backwards, just over the party. There we are. So, a 23 is a particularly high perception, so you can clearly see that this character is armoured in what seems to be like brass or gold, and on the centre of his breastplate there is a mailed fist set against an azure background, some kind of crest or heraldic emblem of some kind. Now, with a 23, his chest is rising and falling, but there's a dagger that's been driven deep in the plates between his armour. So his chest is rising and falling, but there's visibly a dagger sticking out of him. Can you roll me a knowledge history check, please?
That was 20, natural 20, but with -1, so 19.
Oh, dang, okay. So in my games, a natural 20 is always a success. So regardless what it is that your character's attempting to do, you roll a 20, you get a success. You immediately recognize this emblem. It's one of the soft-skinned folks' heraldic emblems. So the clenched fist on an azure background is actually the sigil of the Duchess of Eastmark. So her son, who you have come to rescue, that's obviously his mother. She is the Duchess. This is her emblem, so presumably, perhaps this is someone loyal to her, maybe one of her knights. You're not sure, but he has her emblem on his armour in the centre of his breastplate.
Okay. I want to roll a perception check to see if it's safe to approach.
Based on your previous perception check of 23, he doesn't seem to be hostile. He seems, in fact, to be unconscious, although he is still breathing, and he's kind of got one huge hand, or one mailed hand, around this large flask or water bottle that he seems to be carrying with him.
But is there anything else around? That's the question.
Oh, in that case, you would need to roll me an investigation check rather than
okay.
perception for what you might be able to see.
That was an 18 plus 1, which is a 19.
Good lord.
I know.
Whoa!
On fire.
Very high.
Yeah,
so,
then this means when we finally get into combat, he's going to be stuck on Nat 1 mode.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to switch to the roving camp. There is a long corridor which extends as far as your lantern allows you to see. Now, the corridor seems to end in some kind of blockage. At this range, shining the lantern along, there's like a heavy set wooden door at the end of the corridor, which hopefully I can demonstrate by moving the cam along. That's the corridor, and there's the door at the end. Now, by tracking back, with a very high investigation roll at that, you can see that perhaps 10 feet beyond the armoured warrior on the floor, there is a wire which extends across at maybe ankle level.
Right.
Some kind of trip.
Even more so with a particularly high roll because you got almost 20. Again, the higher you roll, the more information I give you. you can see that like around the feet of the armored warrior, there appears to be like a broken wire of some kind, a wire that's been snapped or cut in the center, and two halves are on either side of him.
Okay.
The reason this character is here, and I will demonstrate using the roving cam, you will see the two adventure cards that you drew. Those would in fact be the mercenary and
The snack.
the water bottle.
Oh, the water.
I'm going to turn the roving cam back off now so we can switch to the other cam.
I take it you relay this information to us.
Yes, absolutely. I tell you about the safety, but also warn you of the wire up ahead, and I suggest that we approach.
Are we going to try and heal your man?
Well, shall we give him a prod first and see what he
Yeah,
does?
yeah. Would Dagmar recognize him as one of like his fellow?
He might. So Dagmar is in fact a dwarf in service to the Duchess's household. Dagmar, can you roll me please an insight check with advantage?
Insight. Okay, yeah, 8. Try again. That was 18. That's much better.
18.
That is much
So not only do you recognize the armor and the heraldry, Dagmar, you know this man. So from his grizzled, more elderly, bearded face, like a kind of snowy beard, like salt and peppery, you actually know who this person is. This is Sir Findhorn. He's one of the senior knights in personal service to the Duchess. So in fact, he is very senior within her household. He's entrusted with many tasks, including leading her troops in the field.
Ooh,
I think we should wake him up
So-
because he's got good
yeah.
information, if nothing else.
Sir Feinhorn. What brings you to this horrid place?
He's
Are
unconscious.
you okay?
Are you okay? Maybe.
Are you okay?
He's unconscious.
Findhorn's chest continues to rise and fall, but Dagmar's not the brightest bulb.
No, exactly. Again, -1 intelligence. He's quite wise, but just.
Then
pretty
you
dumb.
know he's unconscious. We're going to have to heal
I
him
don't-
if we want.
Is he unconscious or?
Yeah.
Oh, good role playing there, Dragon.
Excellent, excellent roleplay. I mean, whether intentional or not, I'll give Dagmar a point of inspiration.
This is probably a terrible tactical decision, but I'll lay on hands again. So
No, that's a good shout.
let's give him.
How big's your pool at this stage?
15, so
that's pretty
I'm
good.
running pretty short.
Yeah.
Let's give him 5.
I would say, okay, you used 8 previously, so...
Yeah.
Okay,
So
terrific.
I'm basically burned through all of mine now.
Okay, so Dagmar kneels by the side of Sir Findhorn. He kind of places his hands on him. And again, there's that same kind of warm glow that spreads from Dagmar into Findhorn's body. And immediately there's... What in the name of God's going on here? Is this... Dagmar! And immediately Findhorn will clasp him, like, and there's a clank as the armoured bodies clang together. Ye gods, I never thought I'd get out of this forsaken place. It's good to see you, old friend. And if you're looking for a mental image of this character...
Now we can't avoid it, yeah.
So, Sir Findhorn is back on his feet.
Hooray!
What would the party like to do?
Kill him.
Yeah. How did you get down here? Findhorn.
Dagmar, it all went to shit as soon as we turned up. We did the best we could. We launched a frontal assault directly on the castle, but we were repelled. There's so many of the fucking undead. Instead, a patrol of us went into the graveyard to see if we could hole up, but they were everywhere. We managed to stumble across this place. My plan was to infiltrate and go in, but I paused here for a rest, and then something snapped beneath my feet and everything went black. Not sure what happened to the rest of the men.
Oh, that's bad news indeed.
Can someone roll me an insight check who is not Dagmar?
+2?
I have +2. Anyone got more than that? Do you have soldier? Do you have +2? Do you want to do it?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to waste the boys' good rolls.
Go for it, soldiers.
17.
Nice.
He seems pretty on the up and up, so he has no reason to deceive the party at this point. He seems to be a comrade of Dagmar's. You don't think that he's lying to you. You get the sense there is an urgency about this man. You feel like, just based on his demeanor and the way that he's presented himself so far, he's a bit dogged. Perhaps not the most tactically astute individual, but definitely loyal to the Duchess and not hostile to you. But you think he's pretty genuine. The tale that he's told you seems to add up.
Fight!
Yeah. This is when we kill him, obviously.
No! We either heal him so he can get out of here, or heal him so he can help us, depending on what he wants to do.
How's he looking sort of physically? Is he still sort of like clinging onto life?
I
or
believe
is
he still has a dagger in his chest. We woke him up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should probably do something about that.
Yeah, laying hands kind of deals with that.
Yeah.
Can Dagmar roll me a medicine check to ascertain how physically healthy he's looking at the moment?
Cool. 16.
A 16. So you've managed to restore some life to him, but he's not in a great way. So you managed to heal some of his wounds and some of his injuries, but you get the feeling like he was near dead when you found him. It's going to take him some time to recover. You reckon, like, he could stand, he could probably perform tasks, he could maybe even fight. But with a roll of a 16, he's going to be tentative at best. When push comes to shove, he might not be the most useful.
I mean, we can feed him a health potion that I've got, but...
I was debating that.
But maybe we want that.
I have healing. If nothing else, I
Again,
think
do we not maybe want this? Because, I mean, assuming we do everything right, there's probably going to be a boss fight.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I say.
If he wants to come with us, an extra person is worth the healing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
sure.
have 2 more spell slots. We can whip the thing out of his chest, use one of them to heal him a bit more, and then either he can leave because, he needs to go to safety, or he can come with us if he's determined. Cannon fodder is always helpful. I mean, we should do the right thing.
I guess we could ask him.
You will come with us by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Of course, my large friend, and he points his hand upwards towards the towering form of the centaur. It's been a while since I fought beside a centaur. You people are fierce fighters. My name is Sir Feintor, loyal subject of Duchess Katarina.
Sir Feintorn, I'm here to protect the child if at all possible, so I'm going to remove the dagger from your chest and heal your wounds. This may hurt a minute, but will either get you safe enough to get home or safe enough to keep going, whichever you prefer.
I really thought you were going to say, we'll either get you safe enough to get home or we'll kill you right here, right now.
Could kill him
Which should
first
not be
off.
at all out of character.
Excellent. I'll roll a persuasion check with advantage, and then roll to see how many hit points you can restore to Feintor.
Okay, I swear, I just rolled a persuasion check of a nat 1, and then a persuasion check of a nat 20. They're both there.
1 in 400 chance, but you can do it.
I mean, sometimes that's just the way it works. So, like, roll to see how much you heal him. So, like, we'll factor this in with how much you heal him by.
Yeah, so...
You can roll with advantage because you are healing the man and you've just rescued him from near certain death. He's pretty pliable at this point.
Groovy. Well, I got a 4 on the first one, a 3 on the second, so yeah, 4 plus 2, 6.
Again, like, the kind of strange, sprightly figures, literally sprightly, as in small pixie creatures, kind of float up around him almost ethereally as his wounds begin to close a little bit more and the dagger just drops out of his chest, the wound beneath seemingly patched up. Why, thank you, Centaur. That was an unusual experience, like being tickled. Yes.
It's the pixies, you know.
You had to make it weird.
He'll turn and lock eyes with Sir Dagmar. I fear that perhaps my talents are spent here. There were too many of our men we lost in the final assault. I'll see if I can rally some troops at the nearest garrison. But you, carry on. Perhaps it may be possible yet to save the boy. And handing out his huge warhammer, he'll press this into Dagmar's fist.
Oh.
Perhaps it's time I was beyond this game, Dagmar. Carry this forward. May the Duchess's will be with you. And he'll clap Dagmar on the shoulder. I'll see you soon.
Ah.
With that, he'll turn his heels and begin heading back towards the ladder to ascend to the surface. So Dagmar, you know quite a bit about Sir Fortinbras's hammer. Ooh. The hammer is named the Litany of Fury.
I actually meant Sir Feinhorn, not Sir Fortinbras.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry, my apologies. I'm getting my own characters' names mixed up. It's not like I wrote this or anything. I do, of course, mean Sir Feintorn. So Sir Feintorn will press his warhammer into Dagmar's grasp. Dagmar, you're familiar with this weapon. This is the Litany of Righteousness. It is an enchanted warhammer which burns with the light of the sun itself. And if you attune to it, which takes an hour, then you will learn what it does. But for the moment, it's a magic warhammer that you have.
Ooh, don't mind if
Do you know that if you attune to it for an hour, it becomes better?
Yeah, Like, I'm assuming your characters know that. So, like, if Dagmar knows if he takes some time to become accustomed to the weapon, it will yield more power for him. It'll be more useful to
Well,
him.
we're going to have to check for more trip traps anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you
For an
focus
hour
on...
to check like a 30-foot passage.
So I'll move Sir Feintorn, not Sir Fortinbras, but Sir Feintorn will make his way back along the passageway. And the party arrays itself, facing down this long corridor, which by the light of their lanterns, magic ropes, and torches, they can see extends for quite some way before ending in what seems to be a sturdy wooden door set with iron bars and reinforcements across the door.
Good. Okay, team. Do we want to identify the traps and dodge them, or shall we just trigger them all off from a distance?
I'm looking at what I have for triggering. I'm assuming my best bet is get something that's going to roll, or just have a torch or something that's not lit, but just is held in front like a stick and poked.
Well, does
Yeah, this is
Terminus
what I
have anything? This feels like Terminus.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking. 6-second long recorded message. Emit a verbal or odor or non-verbal sound. static visual effect up to including 25 words of text. These. I mean, what can I could try and send the defender in to trigger some stuff.
I mean,
It's up to
That
you
would be
guys.
an option. I was wondering if this would finally be a chance to use the ball bearings, but I imagine they're too small.
No, we gotta save
Are we
those
gonna walk
for
over
a
it?
yeah.
We've got a bomb
No.
thing.
No.
I don't think
Why
that's
are
how
you so
traps work.
boring?
There will be a time for the bomb. This is not that
Yeah,
time.
I will.
Terminus, you have a long spear, don't you? Can you just like wave it out in front of you and try and set off all the traps?
It's got reach, yeah.
Or does the steel defender have any reach with his
No, he
long
doesn't have reach.
Doc
I
Ock
do.
tail? No, okay.
I mean, the other alternative is if someone's got high investigation, we could just.
I've also got high
Have a look.
investigation. So I've got high investigation and a long stick, which is a nice combination.
That's his
Ah,
perfect.
yes, the power build.
That's what I tell all my lovers. High investigation and a long stick.
If you know what I mean.
Very good, very good. Inspiration for the
So-
DM.
yes.
I haven't used my last DM
Ah,
inspiration
true,
yet.
yeah.
See, if you don't use it, you lose it. What can I say?
That's the rules.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, so it is the course of action that Terminus is going to use his pike to feel out the ground and trigger any traps whilst simultaneously investigating for further traps that he can
That's
maybe
the
trigger or
plan, yeah.
disarm. Okay, so
Let's do it.
you've identified the very first tripwire because Talamanca rolled very highly on his previous investigation check. So what are you doing with that first tripwire? Is Terminus hitting it with a pike, or is he stepping over it, or is he investigating further? What's Terminus going to do?
I'm going to hit it with a pike from a safe distance and be prepared to kind of leap back a bit.
Okay. You don't need to roll. I mean, Terminus is perfectly competent enough to just dunk the tripwire
I
with
think that, but
the
this is the
pike.
man who fell down a well not too long ago, so...
Yeah, you know what? Terminus, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, shit ass. Fuck me, that's 17. I'll take that.
17. Very deftly, Terminus, with the surprising skill for a seemingly large mechanical man, just holds out the pike and with like hydraulic speed and precision, he lowers the pike of the blade onto the tripwire, which immediately twongs. There's a grinding of stone against stone and a whirring of gears as immediately behind the party, and I'll just adjust the camera so you can see, a large stone door clangs into place as 6 iron spikes rocket out from the thing. The door begins to grind inexorably, but inevitably forwards.
Fucking Indiana Jones does.
Yeah.
We've trash compacted ourselves.
So there is now no way back. This blocks the passage behind you. The spikes are beginning to painfully actually push into your backs. You can tell that as the gears begin to whir, this is picking up speed. You've got maybe a round to act. So we're not acting on initiative because there's nothing for you to fight per se. But we're going to go around each player in turn to see what they will do as they advance down this corridor. You can see that I've added this large tombstone-y thing that will represent the door completely filling and blocking the passage behind as it grinds forward and forward and forward with the spikes. There we go. What would the party like to do? So
I am going to attempt to shove my javelin in the space around the edge of the door to try and wedge it so that it will slow down, if not full on stop, the door.
okay, so it's not a terrible strategy. But
I'm going to lose my javelin.
You are definitely going to lose the javelin, though. So let's go with that. Roll me at, I suppose athletics is maybe the best. Like just sheer brute strength to wedge it in there. Roll an athletics check for me, please, Terminus. Or not Terminus, sorry, Soldier.
Not nat, but 20.
Oh, dang. Okay, you shove the javelin in. Again, there's a grinding of stone against stone. Terminus digs his hooves in. They scuff on the kind of hard stone. But nevertheless, it seems to have slowed, if not halted, the progress of the door with the spikes. Excellent strategy. Cool. So as Terminus kind of holds himself in place, holding the door up, what is the rest of the party going to do? Let's go to Terminus next. What's Terminus's plan?
Oh, God. I'm not very good in this situation. I think my move is going to be to go ahead and try and,
Set off more
Move-
traps.
yeah, move ahead and keep... Well, basically, I'm angling to use investigation here, and it's basically, can I move ahead and kind of scan out and scout out the area, looking specifically for traps?
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Terminus, as you move along the corridor, roll me an investigation check. So you can move, and then your action will be to search for traps as you
Sure.
go. So roll me an investigation check, please.
That is 20. Unnatural.
Okay, Terminus, you get to only 10 feet further forwards when the stone in front of you gives a kind of weird quality to it. the sandstone or the kind of the weird stone that makes up the floor seems to be colored differently. The texture of the dirt that has been sprinkled across it is different from the consistency of the rest of the corridor. You suspect foul play. You have 10 feet of movement remaining, but the next at least 10 feet of the corridor seem patterned differently to the rest of the stone.
Okay.
Can we try and throw something on it and see what happens to anything that we have that's heavy?
We need to get down this corridor, so I think, yeah.
The only way is forwards at this point.
The only way is forwards, yeah.
The only way is forwards, but as soon as you step on it, surely it's a trap that's going to give way. So, again, poke it with a stick. Try not to be the one on top of it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like a crowbar or a piton is heavy enough to set it off.
I suspect you'll have to use your weight to push it down, but you can use a spike or...
Yeah, I'll poke it again. I'll get my staff and just kind of go and kind of poke into it from a safe distance. Or I could get my steel defender to do that.
You don't want to sacrifice your steel defender if it does fall or anything.
I can build another one.
Okay.
Okay, so what is the play? Are you hitting it with your pike, or are you summoning the steel defender to walk over the affected area?
The latter.
The steel defender is going to walk over it. Okay. As the steel defender runs up the corridor, it suddenly vanishes from view as the floor gives way entirely, and it vanishes into a deep pit, as demonstrated here by the black space on the grid. Into the pit, you hear a loud clang as it strikes the bottom somewhere below. How many hit points does the steel defender have?
16.
Okay, so it takes... Okay. It takes 12 damage from the fall as it plummets 30 feet down into the pit in the first instance.
Ooh.
Moreover, it is impaled on 2 spikes at the bottom, taking a further 9 points of damage from the 2 spikes.
Oh, it's dead. It's well dead.
There is a horrible powering down noise, and then a brief crunch as the steel defender's life comes to an abrupt halt. That will conclude Terminus's turn. Soldier is still... I'll flip Soldier around just to demonstrate that he is in fact holding up the huge door. There'll be consequences for that later. Dagmar and Talamanca, you can both still act. What are you planning to do?
How long is that pit that
Is it
Terminus has
jumpable?
just revealed?
It is 15 feet.
15 feet, okay. How far can one jump?
It depends how well you roll in an athletics check.
Worried you were going to say that.
Yeah.
When you make a long jump, you cover this number of feet equal to your strength score. And if you move at least 10 feet beforehand, when making a standing...
Yeah. That's assuming, of course, that all things are equal, and when you're being chased by a giant wall with spikes coming out of it, things are not equal, so you'll need to make an you would need to make an athletics check.
That makes sense.
Unfortunately, I have a spell. I touch a creature, and that creature's jump distance is tripled until the spell ends.
You'd have to kind of do that on all of us, though.
I only have one.
So
Yeah.
I could make it. I could just about make it. I've got 50.
If you roll a decent athletics check.
Yeah.
So Dagmar is confident with a running start and a good head of steam. He might be able to do this. He's pretty
You've
confident
also
he could.
seen what happens if you don't.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You'll be making the power
anyone have
down
any
noise next.
Does anyone have any spare rope?
This door
At least we can anchor him with some rope.
Yeah, can you try and
Sorry.
chuck a rope over there somehow? No.
How long is it?
Ooh.
Our jump thing, it's
15.
15 feet.
15 feet.
My spear can reach 10. Can we stick something on the end of that?
Pole vote
You can
across.
you can try pole vault if you
Yeah.
want. I would definitely let you do that. It's up to Dagmar what he
But
wants to do
it's
in reference
30.
to the pit.
Well, I'm conflicted because the character thing Dagmar would do would be try and like wait for everyone else, or like at least try and block the.
So I mean, if that's what you believe Dagmar would do, the dragon, then by all means go for it. He can certainly try and help Soldier to block the oncoming form of the huge room-filling spiky wall.
Yeah. I think that is what he'd do. Sadly, he's gonna get his shield and like brace his shield up against because it's like one of those big sort of square Romany type
We can't
shields.
save the child
So he's
if
gonna-
we're all pushing the door.
This is true.
Nevertheless, Dagmar, can you roll me an athletics check? And
Yeah.
if Dagmar doesn't have inspiration, he can certainly have some. Because again, not a tactically optimal thing to do, but definitely what I believe Dagmar would do. So,
Ooh, that was 22.
22, nice one. So you hit it, and between the combined efforts of Soldred's javelin that was wedged in, and Dagmar's sheer brute strength behind his mighty dwarven shield, you seem to have almost effectively halted the progress of the dwarf for now.
Right.
We move to Talamanca. What's he going to do?
Well, now I've got time to think a bit more about how we're going to get across this, but I'm not good at thinking because I'm a big, angry pirate lizard.
Is it swashbuckling feels kind of relevant here? Could you? Yeah. Do you have anything like swashbuckling?
Dun, da, da, da,
Exactly.
da, da, da.
I mean, I can't jump very far.
Terminus could stand on a pole or his staff, give you a bit more space. You could jump across. I have a 50-foot rope. I can pass it to you before you try and jump over. And once you're over, we can get some of the rest of the people over, and I can use the jump on myself and jump the end and get over.
Wise.
I mean, it'd be useful to have someone on the other side.
And
That's
you're
the-
our best
And
bet for
ideally,
that.
if that person could take a rope over, or at least book.
So I'm gonna chuck you over my.
Take mine. It's glowing.
Fine, take
Yeah.
his.
You're also holding the door.
I am holding the
as
door,
well,
but I've
Soldred,
done
so-
the shoving. Now I'm just like braced against the wall, holding it like a spanner.
None of my spells are useful here at all. Grease will not save us here. I think. Well, that's the opposite of useful.
Make it go faster. Just
Alright, so-
WD-40 it. It's fine.
Cool. So the plan is for Terminus to extend the pole arm, basically, the pike, you to walk along the pike and use it almost like a diving board to catapult you the extra distance, carrying the
This
rope
is
the
going to be
whole time,
fascinating
so you can
to see what happens when you inevitably
I know,
roll a
but
nat
I-
1 on
Yes.
But I
Okay,
do want to tie the rope around my waist and have someone else hold the rope as well in case I fall.
Okay,
Which is going to have to be Terminus as well.
who's holding the rope?
Gotta be Terminus.
Surely, yeah, I'm the only person who
That's
can.
gonna be Terminus.
Really.
Okay, so Talamanca running up, seizing the rope from Terminus. Terminus quickly wrapping it around his mechanical body, anchoring himself in place. Talamanca begins the fateful run. Talamanca, can you roll me either? Well, if you're going to run along a pike, I'm going to say this is definitely an acrobatics check. So make me an acrobatics check.
I can indeed.
You're not half bad at acrobatics, at least.
Oh, okay, fine. That's 19 plus 4,
Yes.
so 23, please.
That was the time.
dang.
That was the time.
Yeah, it was right next to the one
I
as well.
really
was
don't know
like-
why you bother rolling. You should really just flip a coin for these things. It's like, did you score 19 or 2?
Roll a D2, please.
There's a very dramatic trrrr, like diving board noise. It's like it just twings as you propel yourself in a graceful spinning pirouette. Your like lizard-like tail fluttering as you leap across the gap with ease to land on the other side. So you still have 10 feet of movement if you want to continue along the corridor.
No, we need to get people
I should roll-
across.
Yeah, I wonder if you can use like a piton
Yeah.
to anchor the rope somehow.
I was going to say, I think I've got lots of pitons, so I might use a few of those, maybe 2 or 3, to anchor that rope fairly securely.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'll do.
Roll me then, let's say, an athletics check is most appropriate here to see if you can drive the pitons into the wall of the cavern to anchor it appropriately. So roll me an athletics check, please.
Okay.
Toss me
Talamanca.
an athletics coin.
That is 13.
13's a decent roll, so it's fairly competent the work you've done. The piton is secured and the rope is attached to the piton, so hopefully this will hold if someone tries to traverse the rope. At the end of the party's turn, what would happen is that the large door here would try and advance, but you have effectively halted it with your efforts. What it will do, the spikes are kind of like driven a little bit against, so it's still trying to move forward. It's difficult to hold it. So you will take a reduced amount of damage as the spikes kind of graze you as the door buffets against your forms. So Dagmar will take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And Soldred will take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as the heavy stone door just kind of grinds against them, bruising them, kind of bashing their ribs as it tries to grind forward. But between the javelin and just Dagmar's mighty strength, they're holding it at bay. It doesn't really move much, maybe like a couple of feet. Okay, we're back to the top of the order. So who wants to go first for the party? Again, each of you gets a turn, and then the door will move, and then each of you gets a turn, the door will move, and so on and so forth until either you escape or you die.
We are managing to hold. I'm shouting this to the lads. We are managing to hold the door firm. If someone's across the gap, do you want to look for more traps? See if we can get to the end of the corridor before we let go.
I do, Soldier. I want to do exactly that. So I'm going to roll an investigation check to see if there are any more traps ahead of me.
Okay, so we'll go with Talamanca first. Roll me an investigation, please, Talamanca.
That's a solid 3, please.
Looks clear to your sharp lizard eyes.
You stride forward in confidence, knowing it's perfectly safe.
God.
Does Talamanca stride forward?
Ooh.
Talamanca believes that it's safe.
Yeah, it looks safe.
Does Talamanca have inspiration out of interest?
Talamanca does not have inspiration, but I do think it's safe, so I'm going to have to advance.
Okay. Talamanca, you move forward a couple of feet. Can you please roll me a strength saving throw? So Talamanca makes it just forward 5 more feet or 10 more feet. And then he's got to make me a strength saving throw, as
and
something
that's
is about to happen.
14, please.
14. Just not quite enough, as from above him, a heavy weighted net just drops from the ceiling and ensnares him. So he takes no damage, but Talamanca is anchored, just flattened against the floor by a heavy
And
net.
then the cage comes down.
Cage with the Japanese fighting spiders inside.
How far is it between
Okay.
you and the door?
Well, can I investigate that? Can I roll a perception check to find out? Or can I see it?
I don't think you're perceiving shit at the moment.
He can just see at this point, so assuming he still has his lantern, which casts some light, it's 35 feet from Talamanca to the door at the end of the corridor. It's difficult to get everything in shot
that's
at once, but obviously the corridor ends there. There we go. Hopefully you can see that on the static cam, and I'll rotate it
1
back.
to 2 more traps then.
Right, I can try and... I've got Firebolt, so I could try and use that to basically burn away the net.
Is that...
But I'm underneath the net.
Or I can try and get over there and cut through it.
Do you have any pitons, Doctor?
Yes, so I could try and
Can you
hammer one
anchor
in
the
on this
rope
end.
on the other side? And then at least we have a rope.
Yeah.
Okay, make me an athletics check then, please, Terminus, if you're going to hammer in the pitons to secure the rope across.
I'm quite looking forward
That's
to
a 15.
Solred tightrope walking across here.
I'm going to
gonna be-
do the jump spell on myself.
Oh, yeah. That's
Is that worth spending a spell slot for? Possibly.
Yes.
Do you want me to die on the spikes?
I mean, to clarify, guys, I, the Dungeon Master, don't want any of you to die because I'm having fun, but the spikes, the spikes are real thirsty. So, Terminus we're using his mechanical fist. He doesn't even need a hammer. He just takes his fist and goes doof, 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 and hammers the piton into the wall with the rope attached to it. So you still have, I'll say that takes half your movement to accomplish that, Terminus, and you still, let's say your action to drive the piton into the wall, you still have your movement. You could attempt to cross the divide if you wanted to.
Yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Do you have Feathered Fall? Do you want to use Feathered Fall in case you...
I don't have Feather Fall, no.
That's a prepared spell.
So yeah, I have it in my possible pool, but every day I pick 4 spells to prepare, and so far I picked a load of shit.
Terminus, can you roll me either an acrobatics or an athletics check, whichever is highest?
Acrobatics is slightly better at +1.
Go for it.
Let's use my inspiration to re-roll that. That's exactly the same. Okay, cool. That's a 10 then.
A 10, so it doesn't go fantastically. He tries at first to do the tightrope, but then ends up just kind of monkey crawling hand over hand along. So he doesn't make a lot of progress. His weight is ungainly and awkward. Clearly, he literally wasn't built for this.
Hey.
But Terminus makes it 10 feet across the divide, not making much progress. As he kind of dangles upside down precariously on the rope over the chasm into the pit below. He's not fallen, but he's not making much headway. So we've had Talamanca's turn, we've had Terminus's turn. Do we want Dagmar next, or do we want Soldier next?
I continue to brace.
Oh, well, I mean, so Dagmar is a dwarf. So A, he's signed a vow of protection, and B, he is frickin' stubborn. So he is going to be the last one there. So you might as well go first and use your jump spell.
Fair, but we need to keep this door held at bay. You're better with traps than I am. I can hold the door slowly, and you can get the traps so we can all get out of here.
Well,
I think there's only one or so trap left.
We don't know that
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
but also go.
Yeah.
You don't know that. I could have 10,000 traps in this corridor.
Why are you like this?
He's an asshole.
Yeah. No, you're not going to outstubborn a dwarf. He is going to be like, go!
This isn't stubborn, this is
Yeah,
reasoning.
No.
I mean, your characters could just both continue to hold the door.
We can both continue to hold the door. Okay, I'm going to attempt persuasion.
Unfortunately, you can't persuade player characters. Otherwise, if you rolled high enough, you could persuade his character to commit suicide, and obviously that's deeply flawed. So unfortunately, you can't use persuasion to get other characters to do your bidding. Would that you could. Unless one of you changes your mind, one of you's gonna roll an athletics check with advantage as you both try and resist the door. Going once.
Yeah.
Going twice. Okay.
All right, I'm going to keep resisting the door then. I'll go for it.
Cool. Dagmar.
Alright.
Dagmar, roll me an athletics
So,
check with
athletics.
advantage as you're assisted
Awesome.
by Soldred. So you're both holding the
Okay.
door up.
That's 22.
With a 22, the two of you, the centaur's hooves again just sparking on the stone, and Dagmar with cursing and dwarvish as he just pushes the shield harder and harder against this huge spiky door. You actually drive it back a foot. You hear the gear, the mechanism in the gears is grinding. You know that horrible way, like those wind-up cars. You get like you wind.
Yeah.
You know, when you try to push them the wrong direction, the horrible clacking noise that they make. Imagine that's the door is making this noise. It seems to go back a couple of feet. 22 is a very impressive roll. Right. Again, at the start of you guys' turn, like you've actually reversed the pull of the door, so you take minimal damage. You each take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. The door tries to push against you, but it's not really inflicting much damage at all. The door fails to move because you've just halted it. Now let's go to... Well, we're back to the top of the initiative order. The door would move, but you've stopped it. Top of the initiative, or top of the party's actions. Who's going to go
I think
first?
I should probably go and try and free him,
Yes,
because there's
please.
not much point in Talamanca going first, because he's ensnared, so...
In that case, like, Terminus, roll me either an acrobatics or athletics check to make the final 5 or 10 feet over to the other side of the rope.
fuck off!
That one.
It was on a natural 20, that I was like, nah, I'm going to roll over to fucking 2. So that's 3.
Oh dear. So he's able to make some progress, and he makes an ill-advised as he kind of lowers himself, tries to put a robotic foot out, but he slips. Can you roll me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Fuck's sake, Doctor.
That's 18.
18. So he falls a little bit, but he's able just to... A metallic claw clamps to the edge. So he's dangling precariously by one robotic hand, and in the process of slamming against the side of the stone wall, he takes 1 point of bludgeoning damage. But he does not, crucially, fall into the pit.
Hello, Steel Defender. I missed you.
Reunited once more.
So you can attempt an athletics check to haul yourself up over the side if you would like, but that will be the end of your turn. So that setback has meant that you will not be able to cut.
But I'll try and pull myself up, yeah.
Go, roll an athletics check for me.
That is an 18.
Springing into action, Terminus is able to just engage beast mode. And he just as he hauls himself up over the side and rolls to make it to his comrade. Next turn, you can probably free him. Talamanca, is there anything you want to do in your turn?
Unless I'm tempted to unleash the barbarics, just cause.
No, that's a terrible idea.
I don't know, funny. No, I'll try and use my dagger to cut my... Actually, what's the net made of?
It seems to just it's weighted, so sandbags seem to have been filled at the corners of the net to hold you down. But the net itself just seems to be made of rope.
Okay, well, can I use my dagger to try and cut through cut through the sandbags to try and reduce the weight?
Oh, that's a very novel strategy, yeah. Roll me a sleight of hand check, but please do so with disadvantage because you're being held down by a net.
Okay. Well, the first one was a 4 plus 2, which is 6. And the second one was a 5 plus 2, which is 7. So that'd be a 6, please.
Oh. No, okay, so you make a decent effort, but you kind of fumble with a dagger, you kind of, your scaly tail is getting in the way, holy shit, well, actually, you have claws, right?
No, he has
Yeah,
biting.
I got bite.
He doesn't have claws.
Oh, he doesn't have claws. Okay, I was going to say you could just cut yourself free with your claws, but you don't have claws, as it turns out.
Well, not
okay,
mechanically, at least, no.
Yeah, your scaly lizard body is just too kind of bulky, like the rope keeps chafing against your scales. You're able to kind of cut a few of the cords, but realistically you're not much closer to being free than you were at the start. Very little progress. Oh, so we come to Dagmar and Soldred, who are still doggedly holding...
Canadian standoff.
Yeah. What do you want to do, guys?
I mean, I was still planning
Keep
to hold this
holding the
door.
door.
Guys! What's the end game here? At what point do you stop holding the door and start making some fucking pro?
When we're through to the fucking door and this door that we're holding won't kill us.
I mean, they've rolled very high so far. At some point, the door has to overpower them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the door keeps coming towards us and we don't have a way out.
Well, I'm wondering if I presume the point of the door is to push people into the pit, right? So I presume if we actually get across the pit, maybe we're doing all right.
I assume the door is meant to go the whole way through.
But which we're nearly there. And like, to be honest,
Yeah, nearly.
having people
Hurry
at
the
this
fuck
end
up and
looking
stop
for
falling.
traps or sucking up trap damage might be...
In any case, if you are both holding the door, can Dagmar please make me a athletics check with advantage? With advantage because he's being assisted by a centaur, which is pretty advantageous.
Pretty helpful. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going. That was a 11. Let's try again. Ooh! Okay, that was a 9. So 11 was the highest.
Oh dear. Well, it had to happen eventually. Like this time, like the hooves of the centaur are driven backwards along the corridor. Like the spikes punch clean through Dagmar's shield. Is like, oh shit! As it pierces into his side, the door has very much gathered momentum, and you are powerless this turn to stop it as it grinds forward along the corridor. Now, at the end of that turn, Dagmar, and Soldier are driven back 15 feet as the door just
See, the issue
pushes
is
them along the
for
corridor.
a running jump, you need 10-foot run up, and now you've almost lost that.
Dagmar, like, you're mostly protected behind your shield, so you take 3 points of piercing damage as the spikes drive into your arm. Unfortunately, this turn, Soldier, you're not as well protected, and the door has gathered some momentum as it buffets you. The spikes again piercing bits of your horse body. You take 2 points of piercing damage. I rolled very low on
I was going to say, the description made it sound like that was going to be worse.
So, aside behind the DM screen, I rolled a higher dice
I
for
figured you'd
Soldier's
put lower
damage,
number,
but I just rolled trash.
It's like, you're protected, so you take 3 damage, but you're exposed, so you take 2 damage.
Dungeons and Dragons doesn't always make sense, especially when you're burning Matthew McConaughey with acid. Lest we forget that.
That's when it makes the most sense.
In any case, we're back to the start of the initiative order. The door seems to build up momentum. You get the feeling it's going to be harder to stop it now that it's got going. But in any case, who would like to act first?
I can try and free Talamanca even.
Yeah, Terminus, you're up.
Yep, I'm going to try and use my staff to, my pike to kind of cut through the thing.
Okay, in that case, it'll be either athletics to just like gouge it and smash it to bits, or I will let you make a sleight of hand check.
It's worth noting. So my attacking skill for the weapon is intelligence. Can that translate over to skills somehow?
It's a feature of your class.
It's because this is this is a magic weapon. It has my infusion on it, so it could have some little like. It's got a little blade attachment that pops out for like with snippers on it or something like that.
Because you give me a cool novel solution, I'll let you make, instead of an ability check, an attack roll with your weapon, which I believe uses your intelligence modifier.
Absolutely does. So that would be. That's a 23.
Okay.
Nice.
As he kind of moves the boy down, he's like, "Please stand back." And he, as Terminus pushes a button at the side, there's a little saw that, and it's like industrial strength, just shearing right along through the ropes. Talamanca, you are most definitely free, and moreover, that would cost you your action, Terminus, but you still have your movement. So, would you like to move beyond?
Fuck it, yeah. Let's walk a little bit ahead, being kind of cautious as much as I can be.
5, 10, 15 feet. Nothing happens after 15 feet. Do you proceed?
No.
Terminus perhaps learning his lesson. In that case, then we go to Talamanca. What's Talamanca doing?
All right. Well, I'm going to walk up to next Terminus and then investigate for more traps.
Please do so. Roll me an investigation check.
And that is 21 with a natural 20.
Whoa!
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
He rolled heads on his D2.
By Pelor's sainted trousers. This is unbelievable. So, looking forward, you can clearly see. It's not obvious to anyone else who doesn't have. Yeah, who doesn't have your keen lizard senses. You can see that like 2 or 3 like flagstones further along, there is one of them which is subtly off color. So this one looks just unsettled. It looks like it protrudes slightly higher, by maybe like an inch or 2 above the rest. You reckon this is some kind of pressure plate? So this stone is higher than the ones around it, implying that if you stepped on it, it would lower and trigger some kind of mechanism.
All right. Well, I mean, and how far ahead was that again?
It is 5 feet further on from where you are. So I'll just point to the grid. Here we see Talamanca. Here we see Terminus. There's 5 feet of like free, uninterrupted corridor, and then 5 feet beyond where you can see my finger. Right here is where the pressure plate is.
Can you see beyond the pressure point? Does anything else
and
look
it
funny?
spans the width of the corridor.
Oh no, yeah, it's only maybe, the corridor's 10 feet wide. This maybe takes up 4 or 5 feet in the center of the corridor. So you could circumvent it just by stepping around it.
Can you see past that area?
Can I, with my
With your lantern?
investigation check?
Oh yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
after that, the corridor just simply stops, and there's a heavy oaken door. So again, as described, heavy oaken timbers, iron fittings around the edge of the door, and iron bars which extend across the door to reinforce it.
Bomb.
That's a
I hear
Zelda
bomb?
door if I've ever seen one. Exactly.
All right. In that case, I'm going to point out the flagstone to the rest of the team and circumvent it and approach the door.
There's no chance I heard that because I'm holding the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, I would like Talamanca to make a performance check. There hasn't been much cause for performance. It's one of my
Which is
favorite
hilarious
skills.
because Talamanca is proficient with and carries a drum with him at all times. Which has somehow not been used.
No
yet.
way!
But I rolled a 2, so 2 plus 2, so 4.
Okay, so he calls out, like, you're standing right next to him, so you can clearly make Terminus aware of where this flagstone is. That's obvious.
Excellent.
But again, over the grinding of the gears, the shouting of your voice, the echoing, the dripping of the water, this is unintelligible to your comrades who are straining against the door. So they have no idea that this pressure plate exists.
And is that me sort of done for my turn?
You can still move. So like Talamanca has
Okay,
25 feet of movement. He could make it to the end of the corridor if he wanted to.
I will do that. I will approach the end of the door.
And of course, moving around the pressure plate that you already identified. So 5, 10, 15.
Hooray! No more traps.
Okay, now
Except for
we
the
are-
traps that are already there.
Well, yeah.
That you're still not aware of.
Huge death pit.
And now we make it back to the stubborn trio who continue to hold the door shut against.
Oh my god! I've just realised this is just like the Game of Thrones thing with like Hodor all over again.
Dagmar, they're at the end of the corridor. Let's go.
Yeah, I
you
think
have to use the rope, and I will jump.
Okay, now's the time. Now's the time. And
Okay.
yeah, I think we're both gonna just turn round. Presumably you're gonna cast your spell on yourself. I think Dagmar's just going to like just
Well,
run
the
and jump
rope
for
is
it.
still there. No, the rope is still there, so you can scoot along the
Yeah,
rope.
I don't think he's very acrobatic in his head.
No, he's very exactly. He's very athletic, but not very acrobatic. So he's just gonna go for a like.
Well, then
Yeah.
use it to dangle across and pull yourself across and use your
But
athleticism.
jumping uses athletics too, so.
Yeah.
fine.
I think
There's
Not my
there's-
problem, that's
there's-
between you and your god.
There's different things that would go wrong or go right depending what you choose to do. So, but Dagmar's going to just make the leap.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
Okay,
Most
Dagmar,
thing.
Dagmar can roll me a athletics check, please, as he takes a
Okay.
running jump.
Come on, I'm so freaking terrified now. Ooh, okay, that was a 14. I'm gonna use my Well, do I need to find out what happens before I use my inspiration, or just go for it?
You have to declare it technically before the dungeon
Before
master
you say,
tells you the result. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do that again then.
Ooh, that was a bold move.
20. Dirty 20.
Oh, his beard flowing in the wind. Dagmar, come on! It's like-
Nobody tosses a dwarf.
There we go. It only
he
took
sit-
6 hours and 12 minutes.
as he
It's got that inspiration right back.
as he sails through the air like the warhammer that was given to him by Sir Findhorn lets off this glowing light. He's majestic as the beard flows as he
There you go,
Clears
Sprite,
the
that's the
gap.
action you got to follow.
so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can make it, if you dash as an use your action just to run the length of the corridor, you can make it all the way up to Terminus if you want to.
Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
Okay. Alright, now we come to Soldred. What's Soldred going to do?
Soldred's gonna cast Jump on myself. Touch creature. Creature's jump distance is tripled until the spell ends.
Okay.
So my jump distance is tripled. My strength is 14. So that's 3 times 14, which is
42.
42. So I can do my little jump from here. So I'm just gonna turn around.
With 42 feet,
I'm
you
gonna
can
touch
jump to
myself.
bloody Terminus from there.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Turn around and just leap as far as I fucking can over this fucking
How
big
tall is
gap.
this corridor? It's like, I'm just
Well, I mean, we're about to find out. Soldier, can you roll me an athletics check with advantage because you're magically empowered to leap through the air like a Pegasus?
Yes, I can. So athletics number 1 was not great at 6.
You can roll with advantage though.
Athletics number 2 is 18.
there we go, yeah.
Whoa.
I'd take
18.
that one.
Yeah.
Majestically, the form of the centaur just springs and, like, bizarrely just clears an impossible distance, landing immediately behind Terminus and Dagmar. And at the end of everyone's turn,
I'm definitely imagining that I skid sideways and just gently touch the 2 characters.
landing
So
very,
I'm booting them with my butt.
Yes.
Sorry, go on.
landing very gracefully. Excellent use of the jump spell. So at the end of everyone's turn, the large kind of door with the spikes out it will grind up and stop just at the edge of the pit. It shows no signs of stopping. That's just as far as it's moved this turn.
Worth noting, that's exactly why the sprite took the jump spell, was for when there's some awkward movement for a horse that everyone else could do fine, you could just yeet herself over pits and stuff like that. It worked perfectly.
This makes a lot of sense.
And as a ranger, I would have invested in
Yeah.
this as an option.
That was
As
a
a
very
study choice.
very good strategy, and I'm glad that spell has paid off.
Is that you now out of slots, by the way?
Yeah, I've got no spells left.
In any case, what would the party like to do? So you're still under pressure. Obviously, you're still in this trapped corridor. But
Bomb?
Can you warn everyone about?
Should we have a look at the door
Yeah,
first?
yeah. Can you warn everyone about the trap, the pressure pad? Now they're adjacent to you, whilst I
Yes.
look at the door.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a good move. So I would just like to tell the companions about point out the pressure plate
How does Terminus do that?
in the least dangerous way possible. I don't know.
You can just apply that to this whole game, right?
No. Well, what does Terminus say?
He says, "Warning, warning, pressure plate detected. 10 feet ahead. Rap."
There we go. That's what I wanted. That's fine.
I thought you were gonna fuck with you. You just want me to do a robot voice. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah, well.
Cool. In that case, you point out the pressure plate. The party should be able to circumnavigate it fairly simply. How are you opening the door? Is the plan to use the bomb?
I think Talamanca should have a look.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that perception or investigation? DM.
Investigation for this one, I think, Talamanca.
Right. I will take a look at my investigation skills, and that's a 9.
Oh, I mean, it could be locked. You could be able to push it open. There could be mechanisms or traps. You're under a bit of pressure here, and again, you're not enjoying being underground. You're a lizard. You like the jungle and like sand and things. This is not your natural environment.
Well, I think a bomb is a bad idea. Because we're right next to it now. There's a lot of traps behind us, and there's a lot of falling rocks that are possible as a result of setting up.
But it'd be so good if it worked. It's so tempting.
Oh, it's tempting.
Come back here. I'm gonna throw the bomb.
Okay, we're using the bomb.
I think so.
Really? We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die anyway.
You can
No,
unlock
we need
the
to
door.
try the
Yeah.
door.
In fact, do I have thieves' tools?
Fine, I'll come up and I can
I
just
have
about
thieves'
move up.
tools.
I'll come up and investigate the door.
Okay.
Okay,
Looking
this is the last
specifically,
attempt to
looking specifically for whether there is like a lock that can be sprung or something like that. Maybe giving it a bit of a shove, that kind of stuff.
Roll me an investigation check, please.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Terminus takes one look at it. It's a big, solid door in a good state of repair, and clearly, just from kind of examining it, like there is a lock, and it is locked.
Bomb.
Again,
The
thieves' tools.
bomb could kill us or blow us backwards into the hole and we can die.
Does proficiency with thieves' tools help at all?
Yes, it means that when you roll the d20, you add your
Okay,
proficiency
right, yeah,
bonus instead of
Just
and your dexterity.
okay. So that would be rolling a d20 plus 3. And I imagine the DC on that's going to be quite hard because it's not easy to pick a lock under stressful situations.
We've got time.
Have we?
Yeah, the door is at
Sorry,
least 3 rounds away.
This is true.
So the door is currently about 30 feet short of the member of the party closest to it, which at this point.
And we can scoot round this gap. Like, we can. We have time. What we can't do is be blown backwards into the abyss of death.
Or create a rock slide. Well, shall we have a crack at unlocking it, and if it all goes wrong, then have the bomb as our backup option?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going to unlock it then? Is Terminus going to unlock it or Talamanca?
I guess it's got to be me because they're my.
But you can assist one another.
Not with this. There's no way to easily assist someone picking a lock. It's just too intricate. It's a solo task.
Backseat
Okay.
lockpicky. Turn it the
Well,
other
turn
way.
it-
Turn it the other way.
Red wire, blue wire, red wire, blue wire.
Is there any way in which casting grease would help?
You lubricate the lock.
Lube the doors.
if
wow,
by the-
my spell's stupid. Ugh.
I'll give you. I'll tell you what. I'll set an ultimatum for Terminus. If Terminus can find a useful application for the grease spell before the end of this campaign, I'll give you inspiration.
It's on. But this is not the time.
Anyway,
Boy, because I'll roll kind of average. You will either completely biff this or like pick it with your brain somehow. So I think you should do it
Okay, I'm in agreement.
with your
All right.
lizard fingers.
All right, so what do I do? Roll a d20. Is that
a
So
d20 and then add your dexterity modifier and your proficiency bonus. So in this case, +4.
okay? 14 plus 4 is 18.
Nice.
Okay. As you kind of move your hand into the lock, there's a sudden little "krrrtung"
Uh-oh.
as a needle protrudes out. But using your quick lizard reflexes, you're able to snatch your claw away before it can make contact with your skin. You're able to swiftly resume the lock, and there's a soft click as the door swings open.
But wouldn't the bomb have been so much cooler?
This will
There will be a time for the bomb.
Oh, yes,
this is
there
not it.
Okay. As the party clears the trapped corridor of death, they move on into the next room. It is a bare chamber with a single ladder that seems to extend upwards towards a trapped door. In the corners of the room, there can vermin
Wait,
skitter-
just a
skittering around.
trapdoor or a trapped door?
Hey,
Those are two very different things.
a trap door, as in like
Okay,
a...
You did say trapped door.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
And
been
also to
triggered.
clarify, when you say a bear chamber, is that bear as in empty or bear as in pertaining to bears?
Yeah, it's one of
That's
those
also
bear
important
pits,
to
yeah.
know.
Roll for initiative to fight the bear. No, I'm knocking everyone's characters over. Forgive me. I'm going to stretch quite far from where I'm seated to get there.
It's fine.
There we go. Terrific. As the characters move into this door, I'm going to call a brief break because I need to make it to the bathroom. Viewership, thank you for joining us. Maybe we'll cut here. We're not sure. But we'll be back with you in 1 second for the next thrilling installment of Infamous Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm also going to nip to the loo and make a drink.
I'm going to drink some more Cointreau.
Ooh, Quantro!
The Quanto Goblin!